you know, still didn't know what was in those either. So still not doing anything with my changeling. It's just standing there. He totally doesn't notice it. So I've got Overlord spreading around here. I just popped up my Nidus Worm. I'll go ahead and get that over there. And I'm sending some drones in there pretty quick to get those built up. As you can see, I have a large amount of minerals. I'm going to start using those soon. Got some units burrowed here. He hadn't been paying much attention to, well, much of anything, and so I figured it was a good time to get that. I do have burrowing. I haven't purchased the tunneling claws yet, but I'm going to get those ASAP. One big failure he was having there is, well, this was kind of a fail area too, but one big failure he's having there is just wasting way too much time rolling around not doing anything. I don't really know what his deal was, but so send some Zerglings out, kind of all corners of the map, get a scout on things, check him out, see what he's doing. He did end up purchasing the igniters for his Hellions. Building up a couple more Hydras, just kind of the standard army. Got my Nidus network, and I do have another drone in there. I was planning on actually dropping the Nidus over here. Wasn't a whole lot. I doubted I was going to get it in there. Let's see if he could have seen me. If I had dropped it right there, he might not have been able to see me, but you know, what can you do? Building up Hellions, he doesn't have a whole lot of air defense, which is a little stupid on his part. Started upgrading that layer to a hive, and I started a spire. I'm going to pump out quite a few drones, or push quite a few drones into this Nidus network. Get them over here to start mining gas. I've got full gas mining on this one, and I'm going to get larvae pumping out here. I almost pulled too many drones off. It would have been smarter to leave a few there, but now I've got quite the sizable army. I do know that he's got quite a few marauders, and he's going to continue to mass ground. I saw with this Overlord that he just had units everywhere. Look at the income. He's got quite a few minerals, and he's just not using them very effectively for anything. He's beating himself to the floor on gas because he has no gas expansion here. He has no gas there. I mean, just totally beat himself into the floor, and he's mass supply depots so that I can't Psylocke him again. He still has nothing open here. I mean, if I had come and dropped units in, nothing. So drop in here, take a peek around. Don't see a whole lot. Decide to leave the Overseer there for a little while. We'll see if he comes back and does anything. Down here, as you can see, I've got those drones I told you about earlier. I like to get a Spore Crawler just in case there's any sort of invisible units or anything comes over here, air units or anything. And I am picking up gas as quickly as I can. I picked out a couple of Corruptors, and I probably started upgrading this to a Greater Spire. I know with all the ground that he has, I'm just going to walk through them with my Broodlords. So start going that direction. I am sending these roaches in. I'm going to go in and try to pick off what I can in his base. Maybe take out a couple of his SCVs back here. As you can see, he doesn't have a whole lot of anything. There are no siege tanks, nothing. It's very non-standard for him, but a little silly on his part. So walk right past him. He has no turrets to defend. It's just not making a whole lot of sense for him. So pop up, pick off quite a few SCVs, drop down everything I can, and then burrow again and move. He does scan me. I wasn't really worried about it. I figured I'd get out what I could. And roaches recover extremely quickly. Wasted another scan there. I move a little further. He wastes another scan, but this time from a separate one over there. I happen to walk into range of this turret, lose both of them. It's not a big deal for me. So now I've got quite this group here. I've got quite a few Broodlords. 3 there, another 5 spawning, and I'm going to pop that last one. So I've got a total of 9 of these broodlords there, and I told him good game. He didn't realize it, but it was pretty over. So I'm going to send in, and it's the same that I said in a replay a day or two ago. When I'm getting broodlords, I really get hydralisks, not as an attack force. It's just simply to keep the broodlords from dying. He's got almost no marines, so he's going to start pumping those out. You can see marines in almost every one of his God knows how many barracks. Tons of marauders. Probably would have chewed through, just a straight Hydra force, but not going to happen against the broodlords. He's got almost no defense at all, and it's just simply going to be me picking off the rest of his units. So I'm going to go and make sure I get most of these marauders, and then probably send my broodlords to the top left and let the Hydras clean up the rest of the base once all the marauders are dead. So I'll just leave them there for a second. He does get quite a few marines out here, and they start causing some problems to a few of these broodlords who are unupgraded. He takes one out there. Slowing things down. I wanted to keep him moving at me and keep refreshing the double broodlings on my broodlords, and so I wanted to leave them still for a few seconds before I attacked, and then drop them on top. Had to take out those turrets as quickly as I could. Did a little micro move him back. He's still got quite a few marines. I don't think they have stim pack though. And so I've got some mutas that I had popped in there. Kind of wasted them just farting around. Still got the Hydras sitting around in the back. I've got quite a few minerals, and so I start popping out a few more units here. Going to go ahead and keep those broodlords busy with him. Those marines are not going to do a whole lot against that. And I decided it's about time to send the Hydras in too. That'll keep them pretty busy for the most part. And so the Hydras go in. They got 2 upgrades. He's got a few upgrades on his marines, but nowhere near enough. And he's totally out of money at this point. He's lost everything he had. So I'm going to go ahead and split this group up and get those broodlords over to a place where they can take out those turrets real easy, because I can clean up the rest of his base with the hydralisks I have and anything I decide to build. I built a couple more lords. Quite a few hydralisks coming out. Going to pump them into here and then evacuate them out of there. There we go. Now I got the secondary Hydra force is going to come in and clean anything else that he possibly had. So that's going to put an end to the massive ground force that he had that didn't really seem to do anything. Bunch of SCVs standing around. He did finally get kind of smart, and he moved some of those supply depots to the back because I kept picking on him, but he did end up building the same ones there. Now the rest of his base is going. So quite the Hydra army. Here go the brood lords going in and picking off whatever's left over here, just taking everything out. So check the actions per minute. He's relatively low on that, as I could expect. Quite a few units moving around, and that'll put the end of it. I've got another 3 or 4 replays that I'll be popping up in the next day or so. They're a little better than the ones that I've had the last few days. So wrapping it up. Thanks for watching.